Take a breath. Take a step. Choose your character. This is a reflection of my recent journey, just a solo trip up into the mountains for a few days where it was fucking cold and it was quiet, which is exactly why I went there. Went there just to be present, just to spend time away from my phone, away from business, and just not so much in my thoughts, but just really spending time with myself. While I was up there, I had a moment where I could go and choose whatever I wanted to do for the day. I had 2 hours scheduled to go and walk, go to a cafe, go do whatever I wanted. And in that moment, it kind of hit me. I'm like, well, I can just go do whatever I want. I can go be any person that at the end of the day, depending on what I choose to do right now, would reflect on the day a little differently. And when I drew that thought process out over a long period of time, it's like, wherever we choose to spend our energy, our conscious attention, our time, our focus, wherever we spend those resources that we all have available to us, if we spend them consciously or unconsciously, we are going to end up in a different location. And if we draw that out over over your entire lifespan, you get to a point where you get to your game over screen. And depending on how you've spent your focus, energy, attention, and time, you'll have a different game over screen compared to someone else. And if you're not consciously choosing to spend those resources, then you are just spending the resources based on a character that you've been playing your entire life. And you can instead just take a breath, take a step, and choose a character that you want to live as for the rest of your life. And it is that simple. It is just becoming holistically aware of how the decisions that you're currently making are going to impact your life in the future. And I think we forget that. At any point in your life, you can choose whoever you want to be. You can just choose to be someone else. You don't have to keep playing the character that you've been playing your entire life. You can just go be someone new. You can just go play a new game. Choose a new win condition or choose new goals and targets that you want to direct your energy towards that is going to result in a different outcome when you hit that game over screen. That can be as little or as drastic as you feel like. And if you're not ready to take a breath or take that step, then perhaps you need to first let go of the expectations, responsibilities, concepts or ideas that other people have been pushing onto you your entire life, that have given you a sense of identity that maybe was never your own. And now this, which manifests itself as you holding your breath, not ready to take the next one because you're in fear of losing the identity that you have, which you think is the thing that's keeping you alive. But holding on to that breath and holding on to that previous identity and that old character is exactly what's stopping you from living. It's what's stopping you from actually enjoying this game that we get to wake up to every day and choose who we want to become. But if you are ready to take that breath and take that next step, then that's all you need to do. Take a breath, take a step, because everyone can do those two things, and choose the character that you want to become for the rest of your life. It is just becoming holistically aware of wherever your decisions that you're making right now are going to end you up when you hit that game over screen. Ask yourself, what is that game over screen going to look like? And I think reflecting and having dedicated time in your day, week, or just consistently somewhere in your life, but reflecting on where your current actions are going to take you in the future, and then being able to draw a comparison to the future that you want to live, you can just start to make those changes. Start to live a different character. Ask yourself each moment, what would that character choose right now? This is literally just karma in a physical sense. Whatever you put your energy out into the world doing, and wherever you direct your conscious focus, awareness, energy, and time, which are about the only resources that we all have in common. Wherever you direct those aspects of yourself is going to put you on a certain pathway, playing a certain character, and when you get to the game over screen, you're going to be able to look back on how you've played and be exactly aware of how you got to the game over screen that you're looking at that time. Every decision you make, consciously or subconsciously, is leading you towards that game over screen, whether you like it or not. And if you're not consciously choosing what type of character you want to play, then someone else will. Or everyone else will. You'll succumb to the expectations and beliefs of others, all caught in their own bubbles and projecting their thoughts, stories, and emotions onto your life, onto your state of being. The truth is, You get to choose a new character every time you take a breath. You get to choose who you want to be today, who you'll be this minute, and who you'll be in the future. If you aren't making conscious decisions about where your energy and your resources are going, one day you will wake up as someone who wished they did consciously dedicate those resources towards a better version of their game over screen. And that can start now. It could have started yesterday, but you can't hold it against yourself that you haven't started earlier, because maybe you were just waiting for this exact message to hit you one more time so you can wake up and choose who you want to become. And if you do hold it against yourself, you're just letting in the expectations and belief of others and having it on playback in your mind. And you're holding on to that because it might be scary how powerful and beautiful you could become if you realize that every breath is a new opportunity to choose a new path. So if you're caught and don't know where to begin, this is a process that's been helping me for a fair while turn all the noise in my head into clarity and concise actions, so I can allocate my resources in life just a little better and know that in the future I'll look back on doing this stuff and will be very glad that I was more aware of where my energy was going. So this is the bit where you grab a pen and paper and start to write some shit down. All of this starts by you making a decision that you are worth prioritizing in your life. If you can't prioritize yourself enough to give your body, mind, and spirit time and space to be filled, used, and emptied, then you really need to reshuffle your priorities. Hell, even the first time, I'm all about sleep, but you might need to spend 30 minutes extra at nighttime doing this stuff so that you can start to sharpen the axe, which is your mind, that you use to swing through life. Because if you don't have a sharp axe, you are not going to get very far anyway. So the first 10 minutes, you're going to write out what your game over screen is going to look like. Actually, just write out whatever your mid-game screen is going to look like. Just look 5 years from now and decide what that 5 years is going to look like. Write out your routines. Write out how your day is going to look, where you live, the people that surround you. Be as clear and concise as possible while writing out your entire day. What do you spend your energy doing in that day? What type of routines do you have? Who is that person? Who is that character? So go ahead and write out your day, something that you would be proud of in 5 years' time. It said many people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. Imagine if you had 5 fucking years. If you spent 5 years committed to a good gym program, you'd be in the top 1% of strength and athletes in the world. Step 2, look at the plan that you have at the moment, living your current life, and compare it to the plan that you want in 5 years. And then just bridge the gaps. What changes do you need to make to be the person that is living that life in 5 years? Now, if you've just gone and done this activity and you've just written down that you're going to be sipping cocktails on the beach 9 till 5 and then going to have an all-you-can-eat dinner buffet, you really need to reconsider what you find valuable in life. Like, how long could you do that without getting fucking bored? I might be caught in my own bubble here, but that dream vacation isn't the fulfilling masterpiece that it's set out to be. If you are as successful as you could ever dream of, free of financial expectation or responsibility, and chose to live a balanced, healthy lifestyle that promotes the quality of your life for a long period of time, I can guarantee that you'll only be as happy as what you are giving back to the world in the way that you were born to do and love to do. That's a story for another day. Rabbit hole there. But step 2, if you don't plan your time, start doing it. Compare it to how different your routine now looks versus the one that you want to have in the future. And the one that you want to have in the future is probably a life filled where you're giving back, leading, supporting, and guiding a group of people through your life experience and giving back to them, because that's the most fulfilling thing that anyone can do. Creating content and value for people to follow in your footsteps and not make the same mistakes you have, because I can guarantee you that's something that you're passionate about. Now, you don't have to go ahead and plan your day minute by minute, hour by hour, every single day of your life from now on forward. But it's something to do every so often, to observe and become aware of how you are spending the few resources that we have and where your energy is going. It's a tool in the toolbox of life that you can whip out whenever you feel like the days are starting to slip away from you. Step 3 of this, which really wraps it all together, is what I say is go ripen. That's reflect, integrate, plan, execute now. Now, I wrote my blog on this, which I can drop in the comments, but in short, firstly, you have to reflect. How have you been spending your energy? What character are you playing right now? And what learnings does this outcome of life have to offer you in this moment? Secondly, integrate. Integrate those learnings into your life. Create awareness around the character that you've been playing versus the character that you want to become. And integrate the differences into your plan. Go plan your time, go plan it all out so that you have space to integrate your learnings from your reflections into your day, and then just show up and execute. Just show up and stick to the fucking plan. Spend 10 minutes of your time figuring out where you can go ripen yourself. So there it is, 30 minutes. 10 minutes, write your ideal future for 5 years' time. Not even the whole game over screen, just the mid-game screen that you want to pause at and be like, damn, I really made a difference. 10 minutes comparing the routine that you have, and if you don't plan your own day, write out the day that you've had so far and you will have for the rest of the day, and compare that to the routine that you would have in the future. And then become aware of the differences. What things does that person value? What things are they creating and delivering to the world that you aren't doing right now? And then part 3, another 10 minutes, ripen, reflect, integrate, plan, execute now. That's 30 minutes of your day. If you can't create that 30 minutes per week, you really need to reshuffle your priorities and get yourself as number one. The goal of this process is just to observe where your resources are going right now and compare that to the resources that your future self would be using, as you'll have the same amount of time, energy, focus, awareness, and to start reallocating those resources to bridge the gaps in those two characters' lives. And yeah, eventually you're going to face the game over screen, and that can be a little scary. But I know that in my heart, if I chose to take it as it comes and trust I'll end up in the right position, the right time, I get to make game over screen knowing that I could have made bigger positive impact on the world around me, then I know that I die with regret, knowing all along I had the power to choose where I was going to end up. And now so do you. Take a breath, take a step, choose your character. I hope that was insightful. I'd love to hear how that landed and resonated with you. If you'd like further follow-up on any of this, let me know so I can expand on any of those thoughts. Cheers.